Hi, we're Transfer Travel, leading resale travel marketplace, and today's episode we're going to be talking about the psychology behind travel spending. And I'm here with the lovely
Laura, Head of Operations at Transfer Travel, and I actually did psychology in my undergraduate and my master's degree. So that's why I'm really looking forward to this topic.
Yes, this is going to be super exciting. So let's get into it. So from what you have seen in the travel industry, why do people still prioritize travel even when money is tight?
Yeah, so it's actually really interesting because travel sits in what's called a protected pot. So this was developed by Richard Thaler, and he basically called it mental accounting. So people tend to separate travel into different pots in their mind, and because it holds emotional value, and it's kind of more of an experience, travel, even when budget is tight, they're more likely to protect it and carry on going, as it does hold this value.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think especially Monzo as well, they actually have different like going on to those pots in like physical pots. So
Yes.
if when you want to save your money, you can have like a travel pot, you can have like a income pot or like your bills pot. So like people are always putting a little bit of that money in those like protected pots to know that they can go traveling when they want to, and knowing that they do have a little bit of money that's saved there.
Yeah, no,
Which is
definitely.
really
And I think
interesting.
like travel as it is an experience. And I think a study by Pine and Gilmore found that this over time people have shifted from valuing things to valuing experiences. So people would prefer to obviously put their money towards travel rather than say buying a new TV or something. And that's really important for people as it holds that kind of emotional value.
Definitely no, and I think everybody just wants to go traveling and on holiday. Like I think everybody needs it in their life just to keep them going. Do you think that bookings are driven more by emotion or like logic, or what emotions actually push someone to kind of book a trip?
Yeah, so it's interesting. It's usually emotion that happens first and then logic kind of follows afterwards. There's this thing called dual processing theory. So it's basically that emotion is the first thought, and then logic happens afterwards. So you basically, it starts with a feeling. You'll see a holiday, or you'll imagine yourself on a beach drinking a cocktail, and that will kind of spark it up. After that, then logic comes in. So it's kind of planning, and actually making sense of how you're going to go on this trip. So kind of that logic will happen afterwards. So properly making sure it's within budget, or where you're going to go and the actual logistics around it. So from a psychological perspective, this is really interesting. And there's some strong emotional triggers behind it. So you've got that anticipation of booking a holiday. So from when you purchase a holiday straight away, you've got that excitement already. It's not just when you go on the holiday that you are excited and you're happy. It's when you're booking it. So from that moment, and this is kind of like a dopamine reward system that's going on. So it triggers those happy feelings when you're booking a
Yeah.
holiday, which is exciting. And then there's also another trigger would be escapism. So when you are wanting to kind of get out of your Monday routine, or you're stressed at work. So that would be another reason to book your holiday, and kind of that self-reward system. So I feel like I've deserved to go on holiday, like I've worked really hard this year, or I just need a break. That's also another really strong trigger to happens. And FOMO is another
Yeah,
one. So obviously
definitely.
fear of missing out. You see it on social media, which has now become a massive part in our everyday lives. So wanting to go on that holiday is another big factor that drives it.
Yeah, no, definitely. FOMO is a huge thing, and I suffer from FOMO all the time,
Yeah.
especially like because there's so much access to like online and people posting about all their travels as well. And if you're stuck at the office at home, all you want to do is be out there traveling, like posting about it, like everyone else is on social media.
Yeah.
So I definitely think it is a massive factor. What usually pushes someone from browsing content like on platforms to then actually booking the trip itself?
Yeah. So it's usually kind of when two things happen at the same time. So your emotion peaks and then uncertainty drops. So that's the kind of the two things that happen, and they have to happen, not have to, but most of the time it happens at the same time. So you might be browsing, looking at someone else going on holiday, but haven't fully committed to it yet. So you're not really sure. Maybe it's not the right time, or not within budget at the moment. But then something happens and it kind of it clicks over the edge. So that could be, oh, okay, now it's within budget, or there's a limited deal, or something urgent has happened that you can see, and you're just really excited about it, and it becomes real and doable. That's kind of when it's most likely to happen. And from a psychological point of view, this is a big driver. It's called loss aversion. So we are actually motivated more to avoid losing out on something than we are to gain something. So scarcity effect as well. So limited availability, obviously, it makes it feel more valuable. So that's another big one. Social proof as well. So when you see someone else go in, it makes you want it more.
Yep.
And I think, like we said, with social media nowadays, we are seeing a lot more of that social proof come into play, which is interesting.
Yeah, so many people posting about it. Everyone just wants to be there, which is crazy.
And then another fact is cognitive ease. So making sure that the booking process is simple and it is easy to book online also is another big driver for that. People are more likely to go for it. Is it simple and low risk as well? So risk is a factor that does come into play. How risky is it? Like we were talking about earlier, non-refundable plans and things. So that risk element is something that's huge as well as a driver.
No, definitely, yeah, because if plans fall through or like it can't happen anymore, people get a bit like scared, especially when there's nothing like especially when plans can't be non-refundable either. People then are like, oh, I'm not as sure if I want to actually proceed with it.
So I think as well it'll be, if they know the option about, let's say, like Transfer Travel as a resale marketplace, if they have that option, they know their travel's not going to be non-refundable, but they have the option to resell it. I think that then mitigates the risk, and kind of they know that they could potentially resell it on and recoup some of that money if something went wrong and they could no longer go on that flight.
Do you think spontaneity is becoming a bigger part of how people travel?
Yes, definitely. I do think so, but I don't think it's random spontaneity. It's what we'd call in psychology psychologically driven spontaneity. So although people are more inclined to now be open to flexible last minute travel, especially now that platforms make it so easy to find these deals, people aren't just being impulsive for the sake of it. There is more options out there. There's kind of better prices, and there's a lot of logic behind it. There's a concept called bounded rationality by Herbert Simon. And it basically explains that people don't always make perfectly planned decisions. They make decisions that are good enough based on the information and the opportunities they have around them. So in travel, this would show up when someone sees a great deal or a limited time opportunity and thinks, yeah, that's going to work, I'll do that. And that also has a strong dopamine effect to it. So sometimes spontaneous decisions are linked to reward and novelty, so something new, exciting. That's what spontaneity can do, and it satisfies that emotion really. So you get that happy, excited. Oh, we're going to do something spontaneous.
Yeah, exactly. And people are always looking for a bit of something to look forward to as well. And I think it's a bit of that thrill and excitement as well, knowing that they can just last minute.
Yeah, I think there was actually research on decision fatigue. So a lot of people are getting like, if there's so much choice, then it's a little bit overwhelming with too many options. So they're more likely to act quickly instead of over planning every detail. And I think that's a big factor in spontaneity as well. Spontaneity is definitely growing, but I wouldn't say it's reckless. I just think it's driven by opportunity and simplicity from the platforms that we have today.
Yeah, no, 100%. And I think there's so many platforms that offer that part for you to be spontaneous as well. And I think that's a big reason why there are so many like travel factors, is like when people are going to book, because like you said, like so many people don't want to, they end up getting tired and it's bored. Like that's why a lot of the travel doesn't make it out the group chats, because people are trying to decide what dates or when is everyone free, or there's this destination, I don't really want to go there, I've been there. So it's like all those kind of like factors.
Too many options and choices going on. Yeah, no, definitely.
Thank you so much for all that knowledgeable information and all the travel emotions. And thank you so much for joining us and having a conversation with me.
No, thank you.
No, thanks so much. Bye.